number 6. The dogs have their way. And I'm not even sure what we're talking about with this one. And what was the topic here with this one? I forgot what this was.
So I think it was the dogs have their day, like every dog has their day. A lot of underdogs won on Sunday in the NFL. And it was just kind of like some of these were so unexpected. So I think the question we have to ask is, which one was the biggest surprise to you? I mean, for me, you could talk about, we keep saying, the Bengals have to grow up and learn how to win. Well, they didn't do that this past week. They were favored against the Browns because the Browns, waived Odell Beckham Jr., Kareem Hunt's still out. They weren't certainly not at full strength. Baker Mayfield's been banged up, and they killed the Bengals 41-16. I mean, they dominated the Bengals. Then you look at, the Bills lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
Talk about an underdog having their day. Just a gross 9-6 game between the two teams, no touchdowns. You hate to see it there. Atlanta beat New Orleans 27-25. I don't know why New Orleans was a favorite when they have no idea what's going on at their quarterback position. But anyway, Atlanta won that one 27-25. I think the biggest upset of the day, however, was the Cowboys and the Broncos. The Broncos dominated the Cowboys. I couldn't believe it. I mean, Denver's just an average team at best. Teddy Bridgewater, who I like and respect and everything he's been through as a football player, is just an average quarterback at best. They just traded Von Miller, so he didn't even play on Sunday because he was already with the Rams. And Denver still looked like they had Von Miller on their team because they kept sacking Dak Prescott and pressuring Dak Prescott. They ended up beating the Cowboys 30-16. I mean, just a dominating performance by the Broncos. And you're thinking Dallas is going to be a Super Bowl contender. This is now their second loss of the season, and they'll be fine in the standings and things like that. But they didn't look like that dominant NFL team that we saw earlier in the year, beat the Patriots in overtime and have some big wins to start the season.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great choice. And just quickly to show you how that is a great choice and back up your comments a little bit more, when Von Miller got traded, he said, I went to bed and I was 4-4. I got up and I was 7-1. So it just tells you that he even thought he was on a mediocre team at that point, and now he's so happy to be on a contending team. So for the Broncos to come out on Sunday and to beat the Cowboys, a team that a lot of people are saying should be competing for the NFC Championship, which there's a lot of good teams in the NFC, but the Cowboys have been brought into that conversation. I do think that was a major upset, but I've got to go with an even bigger upset, and that is that Jacksonville Jaguars team beating the Buffalo Bills. Because we're talking about in the AFC, the race maybe being a little tighter and a little smaller with less teams. And the Buffalo Bills were one of those teams that people were picking to at least go for the AFC Championship game. And now you've arguably lost to one of the worst teams in the NFL. Your offense looked completely stagnant. Your quarterback couldn't do anything. And that's arguably the best part of Buffalo's team, right, is their passing game with Josh Allen and Diggs. They really could not get it going at all on Sunday. So I really think that's the bigger news here, is how the Buffalo Bills really just, trudged through the mud and got nothing done against one of the worst teams in the NFL. And Jacksonville Jaguars managed to pull out a win. And it's one of those things where I wonder if the Buffalo Bills went into that game thinking, this is a walk. We're going to be able to dominate them. And then this is one of those things that proves on any given Sunday in professional sports, if you don't show up ready to go, you will get your doors blown off.
Yeah, no question. That would probably be the other candidate there, is that Bills game. The other thing with the Bills, too, I mean, we hate to be homers here, but don't look behind you. The Patriots are now 5-4. So you can't sort of let up here. The Bills still have the Jets on their schedule twice. So those should be 2 wins there, but you thought that too with the Jaguars. So, we'll see what happens down the stretch. The next couple of weeks are going to be tough for the Patriots. They're playing some good teams. But, Buffalo hasn't shut the door in the AFC East just yet, and they have to play the Patriots twice now. And I think, if I'm going to make a prediction right now, I think they're going to split those 2 games, and then, you will see how they do down the stretch. But, I think the Cowboys, just watching the game, I was like, this is just a different team. They don't have Tyron Smith, who's their massive left tackle. That certainly hurt them against Denver, and you're really seeing the effects of that. We'll see how soon he can get back with the Cowboys. They ran the ball a little bit, but they were, just to start, I think they were down 16-0 very early. And it was like they didn't have a chance to really run the ball enough because you're down by a couple touchdowns. You got to throw the ball a lot. So they were kind of forced into throwing it a ton. So they're getting Michael Gallup back this week, I believe. So that'll certainly help their passing game. You add a little more speed to the edge to go along with Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, who's already 2 stud receivers. So, we'll see what Dallas can do here. But that's pretty crazy that Denver could pull that one off in such a dominating fashion with Dallas at home. So pretty nuts there as the Dogs had their day over the weekend. And, folks, that's going to do it for topic number 6. Moving on to topic number 7, we're going to